Happy Monday, people. So Monday for me means, you can tell I'm walking, I just finished working out, which means I also just finished fasting. And if you ever thought about fasting or ever thought it was crazy to do it, I want you to pay attention because I'm gonna drop some knowledge on you, tell you why I routinely fast, why I think it's one of the secrets to long life and health and success in a lot of ways beyond just getting skinny, and pay attention. Okay, so let's start off with the basics. What is fasting? People think of fasting as, okay, you just don't eat. The thing you have to understand about fasting to do it successfully is understand what the goal of fasting is. And it's the not eating is not the goal. That is how you achieve it. The goal of fasting is to trigger certain processes within your body that don't happen otherwise. And the way to do that primarily is to not trigger insulin. And if you don't know what insulin is, you may have heard of it. You may have heard of it, something that a drug that diabetics have to take. Technically, it's not a drug, it's a hormone. But basically what insulin does is when you eat something, generally things that have carbohydrates, sugars, breads, that kind of stuff, triggers insulin. And everything has carbohydrates to some level, even raw meat or meat. Pure animal products have some carbohydrates in them. When insulin is triggered, it's a signal to your cells to basically take things in. So take in energy, nutrition from the bloodstream. Now this is a normal process. After insulin wears down, then your body begins other processes. The way most of us today in the modern diet consume food frequently, 3 meals a day plus snacks in between, and sugar-filled energy drinks and sodas and all those kinds of things, means that many of us are triggering insulin on a constant level. And this is why we have a lot of problems with obesity and other related conditions. Is human beings were not designed to have insulin running constantly, because when insulin is high, other very important hormones are low. They work in opposition to insulin. In order to get those systems functioning, we have to shut off the insulin. Also, having insulin going all the time creates something called insulin resistance or insulin insensitivity. And basically, your cells don't listen to the insulin. And so your body has to pump out more insulin to get the cells to do what they're supposed to do. And again, this leads to diabetes and obesity and all kinds of other health problems. So, now, losing weight. This is another important difference between how fasting is better than dieting. When you diet, if any of you have ever watched The Biggest Loser and then seen the contestants, months, years after, and see that most of them put their weight back on, this is part of the reason. When you diet, if you continue to eat throughout the day, 3 meals a day plus snacks or whatnot, but just consume fewer calories, at first you'll lose weight, and then you'll plateau, you'll stop losing weight, and then you have to reduce calories more. And the reason for that is because your metabolism begins to slow down to match the calories that you're taking in. When you match the calories that you're taking in with a slower metabolism, then you have to lose weight, you have to lower that again. And eventually your metabolism is going to slow down even more. Well, the problem is if your metabolism slows down enough, you die. If you reduce your calories too much, you die. So that doesn't work. Fasting has a very different effect. So if you fast, say for 24 hours, if I eat 2,000 calories a day 7 days a week, it's 14,000 calories a week. If I take 1 day off, I'm eating 12,000 calories a week. I'm reducing the number of calories that I consume over the course of a week. You're still getting a calorie reduction. You're just doing it looking at it in the course of a week instead of the course of a day. And this is important because back when I was talking about hormones and insulin, when you fast, you shut the insulin off for that 24 hours or however long you fast. And other processes come online. And a lot of people think that if you fast, you're gonna like lose muscle mass. Actually, your body has a mechanism specifically in place to prevent that from happening. Fasting for about 24 hours has been shown to increase growth hormone up to 500%. Growth hormone is what you have when you're a child. It's very high during puberty when you're growing a lot. It is what helps you grow muscle mass. It also helps replace collagen in your skin so you look younger. And so when you fast for 24 hours, you pump up your growth hormone by up to 500%. And then when you start eating, interestingly, it doesn't immediately shut off the growth hormone. It tapers off over the next couple of days. So you actually kind of get excess growth hormone for several of the days each week that you fast, or each time that you fast. And if you do this as a compounding effect, my personal experience is after 8-10 weeks of fasting 1 day a week, I have so much growth hormone, it changes my hormone levels to such a point that at 52 years old, I start to get acne again, and I have to take a week off because my body begins to act more and more like a teenager. Terrible side effects. Interesting, if you ever look into this, you can get growth hormone injections from your doctor. They cost 4 figures a month. Or you could fast 24 hours once a week and get that for free. Next is, like I said, when you reduce your caloric intake on a daily basis, like a normal standard diet, your metabolism eventually slows down to meet it. When you're fasting, your metabolism does not slow down. It stays normal. In some cases, it even elevates. So you burn as many calories on the day you're not eating as you do the days you do eat, sometimes more. And you don't, so you're still getting that calorie deficit over the course of a week. And on the times when that day you're not eating, your body has no choice but to burn other fuel sources. Guess what that is? Body fat. This incidentally leads to why the ketogenic diet is so popular, because it mimics some of the aspects of fasting by reducing your carbohydrate intake so low that your insulin levels drop and these other processes come into play. That's really what ketosis is. Okay, so fasting also helps improve autophagy, which is the process of cells cleaning out old, worn out organelles, and building new ones. So fasting basically is like recycling for your cells and cleans out all the junk, which only happens when you lower your insulin levels long enough. I mean, it happens when you sleep to some extent. It happens when you work out, which is another reason that resistance training in particular is so good for you. But when you fast, you can actually elevate those levels. Studies show that you may need to do longer fasts to significantly elevate that level, but that's a different topic. But think about autophagy as another benefit of fasting. Fasting is also shown to help with mental clarity and mental health, reduce anxiety and depression. One of the personal benefits, okay, I know a lot of people are going to bring up hangry. Getting hangry when you fast, because I'm not eating, I get angry and unbalanced and upset. How can it possibly help with my mental health? Well, actually, the reason you get hangry is because your brain is used to using carbohydrates as its primary fuel source instead of ketones. and which is one of the benefits of the ketogenic diet if you go that route. But ketones are basically a fuel source that your brain cells can use, that is made from fat in the liver. Fat cannot be used by your brain cells, by your central nervous system, as it is. It has to be converted to ketones before your brain can use it. But what happens is when your brain cells are used to having a ready supply of carbohydrates all the time, they don't know how to get those ketones. Your body doesn't know how to provide them. So the first day of fasting, you might get cranky. But as you consistently do this, it becomes easier and easier because your body learns to adapt. It's like switching gears. So think of it like a hybrid car. Sometimes you're running on gasoline, and sometimes you're running on electricity. Sometimes your body's running on carbohydrates. Sometimes it's running on lipids, fats. It's just a matter of having that option available, and your body already knows how to do that. It may have kind of forgotten because you've not done it for so long. So by fasting on a regular basis, you teach your body to do that again. You go, hey, you can do this, and hangry stops becoming an issue. Mentally, it also teaches you do get hunger pangs. You fight through them, drink some water, occupy your mind doing something else, and you'll get through it. It usually only lasts an hour, maybe two, and then go away for a while. But mentally, you begin to learn that hunger isn't a crisis. You're not going to die. You don't have to eat right now. And that one, so when you're in situations, you don't get hangry, you're in a situation where you can't eat right away, you're in a meeting, or you're otherwise occupied, maybe on a road trip, there's no food available right now, you're fine. You'll be fine. You'll live. You're not even going to, and you'll stop being stressed about it. Go, oh, I'm hungry. Drink a little water, keep going. So, and then it has another mental benefit in that it kind of fortifies you. It teaches you that these things aren't crises. These small annoyances like being hungry isn't a crisis. You can get through it. And that's one of these little wins, little achievements over stress that make you more resilient in everything else. Now I'm going to tell you some of the interesting things I find about fasting. I'm a chocoholic. I love chocolate. I love sugar. And one of the things I notice, so like when, especially when I get tired or late at night, I crave chocolate. Like I want some chocolate ice cream, I want chocolate cake, I want that stuff. One of the things that's really interesting to me is the first couple of days after a fast, my cravings, like when I do get really hungry, my cravings are actually for fresh vegetables, like fresh, like good home cooked meals, nice like chicken and steak and not processed stuff. I don't like when I think about chicken steak and these, I don't think about like fast food. I don't think about hamburgers. If I want a hamburger, I think about one that I made at home, where there's nothing added to it. It's just the regular meat and maybe some salt and pepper and that. But I think about a fast food burger with all its additives, and it just does not, it turns my stomach. I don't crave it. So my cravings change because your body's suddenly like, oh, we don't need that sugar. We don't need those carbohydrates. We can just do other stuff. This other stuff makes us feel better. It reduces my cravings for alcohol. Flat out, I drink. And especially if I've been drinking, then when you have a few drinks and you think, yeah, you want some fatty food, and also, actually, I don't feel that way after I've been fasting. My food cravings after drinking are actually for healthier food, and my desires to drink are reduced because I just mentally like, oh, I feel really good when I don't indulge in this stuff. My body's like, I don't really want that. So, and this is again, I want to be very clear. I'm not offering fasting as a cure for alcoholism. I'm just saying that I notice changes in my cravings after I fast. Next thing to think about is like a lot of people work out. So I work out Monday mornings. I fast Sunday. I wake up. I work out before I eat. A lot of people mistakenly believe you can't work out when you fast and you can't work out hard. That's not true. My Monday workouts are my hardest ones of the week, and I do them fasted. Now, I'll be absolutely transparent with you. If you're weightlifting, something like that, you're probably not going to set a PR on a fasted workout. If you're trying to like set a personal record, or you got a competition that day, fasting the day before is not going to be the way to go. On the other hand, the stimulus response to working out, you do the exercise and then your body responds by getting stronger, faster, whatever, more endurance, whatever it is that you're looking for, is really just contingent on what it feels like the effort to your body. And so yeah, if you maybe not be able to lift the same amount of weight, you may have to go a little bit lighter on a fasted workout, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to get the same benefit of having really pushed yourself. And if you're working out for any length of time, you know what it feels like to push yourself. So you're gonna know what that is. So you can absolutely work out fasted. I know there are anecdotal studies or anecdotal stories from people who have fasted for longer fasts, 3, 5, 7-day fasts, who've worked out on those days during that the whole time, and they do not lose muscle mass, they do not lose strength, and some of them actually do report hitting personal records later in their fast, when their body is converted over to basically fully ketogenic at that point, just burning nothing but fat. But again, that growth hormone response. And so, okay, coming back around to the growth hormone and muscle mass. In fact, if you're going to fast for longer than I'd say 24 hours, it is important to get some resistance training in there, or even just walking. There's been some studies, Tim Ferriss from 4-Hour Workweek, 4-Hour Body, and podcasts, all kinds of stuff. He's regularly fasts, and he talks about doing an extended fast under a supervised protocol with some company where they didn't allow him to work out. They didn't allow him to do any exercise while he was fasting, and he lost lean body mass. But then when he does it again under his own supervision and does his regular walking routines, he does not lose body mass. So if you're going to do an extended fast, it's absolutely important to make sure that you do have some exercise that combined with the growth hormone tells your body, hey, we're not sacrificing muscle, we got to do something else. So other benefits of fasting is I sleep better. I sleep better in general, but one of the weird side effects of fasting, especially after, if you haven't done it before, you might not notice this for the first couple weeks. Don't fast for weeks, saying like if you do 24 hours once a week, is you conserve a lot of energy by not digesting anything, and you have a lot more energy. And like I told you, I have a lot of more mental clarity. So interestingly, I find that on the days I'm fasting, I don't need as much sleep, and I actually sometimes have a hard time falling asleep because I'm just not tired. So I'll stay up a couple hours later than normal and then wake up at my normal time and feel completely rested, have a great night's sleep, and then I'll sleep really well the next few nights, just because I've reset everything. So another benefit of fasting. Now, all this said, lots and lots of great benefits to fasting. I think everybody can benefit from it to some extent. Absolutely do not embark on a long-term fast without checking with your doctor. I don't know what health conditions you have. I'm not going to tell you, I'm not a medical professional. I'm just giving you my experience. How I like to do it is the easiest way to do, you have to figure out what works for you personally. So there's a couple different protocols. For a lot of people, the easiest thing to do is get up in the morning, have your normal breakfast, and then skip lunch and dinner and no snacks or anything like that. And then the next morning, have your normal breakfast and then go about your day. That's typically 24 hours. That works really well. For me personally, usually if I haven't fasted for a while, that's how I'll do the first couple weeks. By about week 3, I'll go to bed the night before and whatever the last thing I had to eat that day, usually like an evening snack or a late dinner, is the last thing I'll eat, and that'll be beginning the fast. And then I'll just skip the whole next day, wake up, do my morning workout, and then go to my breakfast. So I actually get sometimes 30, 36 hours of fasting by skipping the one day. And that sounds like a lot, that's like almost, it's 150% of a 24-hour fast. It's extra time. It's actually not that hard because a lot of that extra time is just spent sleeping. And I actually find it easier once you skip breakfast. I find that the hunger pangs later in the day are lessened for me personally. For you, might not work that way. You also might go dinner to dinner and skip breakfast and lunch, whatever works for you. What else? Oh, breaking the fast. Okay. After you break a fast, there's two things that you should remember. Is one, don't break with a heavy meal. You don't, like the first thing you eat after a fast, you don't want to be like, you're actually not going to be as hungry as you think you're going to be. You're not going to want to go out and get like, 32-ounce steak and all of that. Start with something light, something easy to digest. I use, you could do, a couple eggs, some yogurt, something like that. And then, wait a couple hours, maybe that's your breakfast. And then for lunch, you have a normal lunch. You'll see that you really don't necessarily want as much to eat the first day or so. Another benefit of doing this is if you want to, if you're concerned about building muscle, benefiting from increased testosterone, if that's something you think about, then breaking your fast with protein-based foods has been shown to increase testosterone. During the period of the fast, testosterone levels will drop, but if you break your fast with a high protein meal, then testosterone levels are shown to elevate quite a bit. I can't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but it's quite a bit. So it's another great way to get basically free hormone boost that would otherwise cost you a prescription. What else? I guess that's about it. That's most of the benefits I can think of fasting. And we got like 23 minutes going on here on this, so that's pretty good. If you have experienced fasting, definitely I'd love to hear it. Write a comment, let me know. If you haven't and you're thinking about it, like I said, consult your doctor, look into it, do some research online. There's lots of good scientific journals talking about it, and I recommend you go to them. Don't just take anecdotal advice from people like me. People like me should give you the idea. Go find like research, scientific, peer-reviewed studies to help you decide whether this is something you want to do for yourself, and talk to experts. And again, consult your doctor. And that's it, people. So happy Monday again. Go out. If you got weather like I do right now, go out and enjoy it. And I love y'all. Peace out.